Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
This is a special edition of Nevada Newsmakers with host Sam Shad, a no-holds-barred political forum. Now, from the Nevada Newsmakers broadcast headquarters, here is Sam Shad.
And helping me with the questioning today, Ray Hagar from the Reno Gazette-Journal. And we welcome to the program Senator Randolph Townsend, Chairman of Senate Commerce and Labor. He also sits on Taxation and Government Affairs. Okay, you have heard from everyone. Angry taxpayers, education, local government. But there's not been a substantive bill yet introduced on this tax issue. What's the holdup?
Well, I won't say hold your breath, but I think tomorrow, which is the first time we meet this week in Senate taxation, you'll see the start of the debate on specifics, which is going to be some kind of cap, whether it's at 0, 5, 2, 3. And I'm hoping to push it a little more intently and get a motion on a number of issues tomorrow. We have to get moving. The public demands it. They deserve it. And we can do something, but it's not going to be, there is no single issue or silver bullet out there. It very much is going to be a combination of things, that I can tell you.
Will it be done in time so that there can be a thoughtful discussion of this in time for the assessors to get their business done by March?
Absolutely. Of course, if I get a second, then it'll have enough time to have. But, you know, we have not only the floor to go through after the process, but we need everybody to have a chance to read the bill and run the numbers in their own counties. This is a county-by-county issue, and that's the real challenge. If this was a statewide issue, whether it would be work comp or health or education, where you could just say, okay, this is what we're doing, you'd be fine. But everything we do affects every county and every city differently. That's why it's a little more complex.
Senator, because of the complexity of the issue, do you think that the legislature will finish on time in the 120-day session?
Absolutely. We're not doing rocket fuel here. We really aren't. What we're trying to do is take a number of things that are very measurable and put them together in a matrix that works for everybody. I don't have any doubt this will be done by the mid-March deadline.
All right, let's move on to minimum wage. Your thoughts on that? The Restaurant Association just having a fit last week, demanding that all of their members contact all their legislators to oppose this. What's your feeling?
Well, I guess I probably shouldn't eat in a restaurant over the next couple of weeks, but...
and I should own up that I'm a member of the Nevada Restaurant Association,
okay,
but I don't support
And I
this.
eat in restaurants myself.
Yeah, well, now that we put that to bed, the issue is a very simple one. Nevada has not raised it since 1996. That's the longest in the history of Nevada that the legislature's responsibility, and it is the legislature, it's not the Constitution, it's not the federal government, it's our responsibility to deal with this based on conditions in our state, have not done this in the longest period in the history of the state. And I think we need to look at it. When I get the bill from the Assembly that goes to my committee, you will see it come to us, and it's my intention to have briefed my committee enough where we can take action the day we hear the bill. I don't, if you haven't figured out what it is by now, come on, you shouldn't be down there. You need to get to speed, get going. I try to educate my members as quickly as I can so they can act intelligently and appropriately and informed, and we're going to act.
Senator, what about the race for governor? How has that impacted this legislature?
You got to be kidding! It's all over the building. I mean,
is it hijacked the whole session?
Oh, no. I mean, people get hung up in that kind of thing. And you can, but has it hijacked it? No. But does it permeate the building? Almost everything we do. It's amazing. And I'm the only guy not running, so I can tell you that. But it's amazing to me. It's all about, he said this, she said that, who's doing this, who cut somebody off, who's news conference of the day. You guys need to tell them, hey, if it isn't about public policy, we're not running it.
What did you think about Congressman Gibbons and the 12-year-old girl that's going to sing, and Speaker Perkins says no?
Well, let me tell you, I have a personal interest in that. That young woman is the granddaughter of a woman that worked for my committee for 18 years. And I will tell you that as sad as that is, each house has a way to deal with their own issues. It wasn't that hard to let that happen. I mean, come on. This is about a 12-year-old. It's about a color guard. If you tell everybody they have an hour, let them do what they want. Senator Reid spoke for 11 or 12 minutes. Many citizens in Nevada, this guy is number one in the minority party, would like to have heard a little more about some of his feelings, whether he continued to object to the president or whatever. So I think in the future you're going to see both houses agree that we're going to give each one of our congressional delegates a fixed amount of time. How they deal with it is their business, and that's the way it should have been done.
And we'll take a break. We'll be right back on Nevada Newsmakers after this timeout.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
Here at the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center, just 10 minutes east of Sparks, we are constructing a 16-mile expressway connecting I-80 to Highway 50. This expressway provides direct access and will make it much easier to get to work. A direct route for employment opportunities. From 100% fiber optics to clean, reliable power. Welcome to the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center, the largest industrial park in the world, building economic prosperity for Nevadans.
Since its creation more than a decade ago, the Southern Nevada Water Authority has focused on 3 goals: preserving water quality, improving water conservation in Southern Nevada, and meeting the community's current and future water needs. Through thoughtful planning, responsible management, and collaboration, it's succeeding. As we move into the 21st century, the authority continues to embrace sustainable water development and efficient water use. That's our promise to Nevada.
Thanks to an ongoing commitment by America's mining companies, more than 2 million acres already have been reclaimed. To learn more about reclamation or other aspects of mining, visit nma.org, the National Mining Association.
Something spectacular has taken wing not far from Reno or Lake Tahoe, and never far from your mind. An escape of fine dining and legendary golf. Introducing the resort at Red Hawk. And at the center of it all, we've feathered our nest with new villas that have elevated Red Hawk to the status of a premier resort. The Resort at Red Hawk, a beautiful new arrival in northern Nevada.
And now, back to Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad.
And we rejoin our conversation with Senator Randolph Townsend.
Senator, are you going to run for re-election?
Absolutely.
Then I have another question for you. I heard about a plan from Assembly Democrats to move a lot of bills into Senate Commerce and Labor, which is your committee. Move so many bills in there that it becomes the committee Senate Commerce, Labor, Auto Repair, and Laundromat Service. Do you think that moving all these bills into your committee, maybe that you would slip up and to give a Democratic challenger a chance to run against you in '06?
Well, one of the things I've learned from a number of very good people, particularly Senator Raggio, is you don't worry about re-election, you worry about doing the right thing. Number 2, I have been the recipient of so many of those anti-business pieces of legislation from that House over time. I think I'm a little calloused, and I'm used to seeing it. We give everybody a fair hearing. You never know when a nugget may come out. You never know when the public may change in the state. You want to give everybody an opportunity, whether it's a colleague or any interest group, and then we deal with it accordingly. We either IP the bill, which is indefinitely postpone and kill it. We amend it to make it better, or we pass it. But that's happened in the past, so it's nothing new.
Okay. Let me just pin you down, because you said you're running for re-election. The rumors have been that you might be going to the FCC. Rumors have been that you might be thinking about Congress. Nay on both of those?
Well, the FCC position would be new to me. Obviously, it's an area I follow and very closely. I sit as a member of their advisory board now. But Congress is definitely out of the question. I intend on running for the Senate again, and there's nothing in my future that I know of that would derail me from that.
Okay, let me ask you this. Is there any truth to the rumors that there's a proposal floating around that would reduce or lessen the prudent requirements for utilities purchasing power?
Not, okay, help me out. I know what you said. You know what you said.
Yeah.
Are you talking about reducing the prudency standard,
right,
or are you talking about the RPS, the Renewable Portfolio
the
Standards?
Standard.
I know nothing about that. I haven't seen anything. In fact, we're getting ready to bring a bill out that should be looked at nationwide as the best combination of what's right about energy efficiency, renewable resources that obviously are part of indigenous things that we have in Nevada, that's good for consumers, good for the company. We're pretty excited about it. That's the only thing I know about.
Okay. Senator, you're going to run for re-election. Do you see in your future at any time where you may become the Senate Majority Leader, or would you like to do that?
Well,
you've been there a long time.
I've been there a long time. I've always supported Senator Raggio, and I will continue to support him until the day he retires. And when that happens, then we'll have to measure up and find out who's available, and we'll deal with it. You don't look that far ahead. I think it's important to do what you do now, do it well, concentrate on what the public needs, and the future takes care of itself politically.
How does term limits affect you now? Or are you thinking about that?
Next time will be the last time under these conditions that I will be allowed to run. The public made that decision. If they change their mind, that's fine. If they don't change their mind, it's been an honor and a privilege to serve. And I will always keep an eye on this process in some way, shape, or form.
I think you'll be on the show.
Okay, we could
be a co-host. Okay, let me ask you a serious question here. Renewable energy, what's coming up in your committee about that?
We have the greatest opportunity in renewable energy of any state in the country. It's time we take advantage of that. In fact, if I could give any message to President Bush, and I would say, let's quit arguing over Alaska offshore drilling, and let's decide that inside 5 years we're going to have 25% of the total production in this country be from renewables, and make that the cornerstone of your energy policy, and I'll guarantee you this country could do it, and this state would lead it. We're going to try to do that from the state level, so we're pretty excited about what we're going to bring for it. It's very simple. You have a renewable portfolio standard now. We're going to allow the company to be able to provide that, obviously participate in that in a joint venture, obviously be able to bring that back to the commission, have rates set accordingly without a penalty to the consumer, but give a benefit to these guys so when they go to Wall Street to get more money, those rates come down. Every time a rate goes up for them to borrow money to put in a transmission line or anything else, customer pays for it. We've got to make sure their borrowing power, their borrowing ability drops in terms of the interest rates they're paying so customers pay less. We're pretty excited about it. I don't want to give too many of the details. You'll see it when it comes out.
Okay,
it's pretty cool stuff.
We will press. We're out of time. Senator Randolph Townsend, thank you so much for being here as always.
Thank you.
We'll be right back on Nevada Newsmakers with the piece of the interview with Senator Reid you missed last week.
Nevada Newsmakers, brought to you in part by Sunbelt Communication.
Reno's best dining values are all at one casino, the Pepper Mill. You can enjoy great savings on our popular specials. Pepper Mill's coffee shop offers daily lunch specials, low-carb dining, and all your favorite comfort foods. You'll find sensational lunch specials featuring Reno's freshest seafood, sushi, pasta, and more at Oceano. And early bird specials at Reno's Premier Steakhouse and Romanza Ristorante Italiano. The best values are at the Pepper Mill. Where are you dining?
Your best value in sight is here for you to see. From frames to lenses to eye exams, you're covered A to Z. Davis Optical, your best value in sight.
Davis Optical Centers, with 2 locations in Reno and Sparks.
Davis Optical, your best value in sight.
If you own a business and want to maximize your company's potential, join the Retail Association of Nevada. Our membership benefits include the Nevada Retail Network Self-Insured Group, providing workers' compensation coverage that can lower your rates. That savings can go directly to your bottom line. We are an effective pro-business organization that lobbies on behalf of our business members. The Retail Association of Nevada, protecting Nevada businesses for 35 years.
When you need a new employee, how can you be sure who you're really hiring? A background investigation by Employer Links will uncover criminal records, verify the applicant's education, check their credit history and Social Security verification. An investigation will research professional licenses and driver's licenses and let you know why they're unemployed. Hiring the right person shouldn't be a gamble. Call Employer Links. Employer Links, protecting your investment.
And now, back to Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad.
For those of you who were watching our interview with Harry Reid last week, We were preempted in northern Nevada for one segment due to the Pope being rushed back to the hospital, so we wanted to play that segment for you today. Now back to our interview with Senator Harry Reid from last week. Continuing our conversation with United States Senator Harry Reid, the minority leader of the Senate. You called for the president to come up with an Iraq exit strategy. Do you have any suggestions for him?
Well, I was very happy with the president and his trip. I think that he did the right thing by going to NATO and asking for help for a change. And he got some, not very much, but certainly it's a step in the right direction. We're going to have all those nations now training outside Iraq, officer corps. That's so important, and that should have been done a couple of years ago. So that's a step in the right direction. We have to do more to train the Iraqis to take over what's going there, and then we have to get a significantly more involvement of the European community and other countries from around the world, which we don't have. They've talked about this coalition, but that's in name only. It really hasn't done much. The only country that's really helped us has been Great Britain. And we have to develop a way of making sure that we stay on top of these three very powerful organizations, for lack of a better description, within Iraq. The Kurds, they have their act together. They are very strong. We have to make sure that they stay together as a country and don't try to break away as an independent nation. And then we have, of course, the Shias and the Sunnis, and that's an ongoing battle. And I'm not too sure that I am sure that we did not do the right thing when we came in and just dumped everybody. Now they're scrounging around trying to find some people that could help fulfill the leadership in the military and the police work. So the president has to come up with an exit strategy. I still don't think he has one. He had a plan to win the war, not win the peace. That's been our problem.
But you don't have any specific suggestions for him as to...
Well, I've given you the suggestions. I think there has to be a tremendous push and asking for help, not only with military, but reconstruction within the country. We have appropriated lots of money. We can't reconstruct anything. It would blow everything up. We have to make, and I personally believe, part of the program has to be the Iraqis have to start paying their own way. They're producing now 2.5 million barrels of oil a day, soon to be 6 million barrels of oil a day. I'm not sure the American taxpayer should be giving them everything.
Senator, some readers are concerned about charges brought against military personnel in Iraq, specifically Marine Lieutenant Pantano, who was charged with murder with defending fellow American soldiers. Your thoughts on that?
Well, this is something Governor O'Callaghan, before he died, talked about, that we have to not use these people as scapegoats. A perfect example is what's going on with this prison scandal. I mean, these prisoners were tortured. And these people who were being court-martialed, these low-level people, they just dreamed this up.
Where's the high-level court-martials?
That's my point. And so I think that a lot of people are being just simply used as scapegoats. And I think that we have to find out how this abuse came. I'm sad to report that it probably came from very, very high levels, as we've learned during the hearings that we had with Judge Gonzalez, and we recently heard with the new Homeland Security Director. In his emails, we found that the Justice Department was warned that what was going on with the Pentagon was brutal, it was torture, and it was not working. That what they had done with regular interrogation methods, the FBI, what they were doing, worked better than the torture.
We're going to take a break. We'll come back with our remaining moments with Senator Harry Reid right after this.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
Those were very difficult times for my husband and I, finding the kind of long-term resources that we needed to continue his recovery and well-being. And it would have been much easier to have had a source that we could have called in one spot rather than calling friends, searching the internet.
One-stop access for caregivers, NevadaCareConnection.org.
If it's hot, it's here at the Pepper Mill. The Pepper Mill has over 500 of the hottest video theme slots. And with the $100,000 Winter Video Theme Slot Fest, there's no smarter time to play these winning machines. Win your share of the money with $2,000 random cash giveaways every Monday and $5,000 drawings every Friday. And new players can get up to $100 free play.
The slots that rock are at the Pepper Mill. Where are you winning?
If you own a business and want to maximize your company's potential, join the Retail Association of Nevada. Our membership benefits include the Nevada Retail Network Self-Insured Group, providing workers' compensation coverage that can lower your rates. That savings can go directly to your bottom line. We are an effective pro-business organization that lobbies on behalf of our business members. The Retail Association of Nevada, protecting Nevada businesses for 35 years.
I tell you, John, this industry has really changed.
Tell me about it.
You seemed to do pretty well last year. What's your secret?
No secrets. Although I'll tell you something. The smartest thing I did was sign up with Pro Group Management.
Really? Yeah, they do workers' comp, right?
Yeah, their services are great. And get this, they saved me 30%. I've heard they saved others 50%.
That works for me.
Pro Group Management. Finally, workers' comp that works for you.
And now, back to Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad.
And now we have our pundit panel already going at it here. Ray Bacon is with us, Executive Director at the Nevada Manufacturers Association, Bob Crowell with the Crowell Group, and Howard Rosenberg, University Regent. Welcome to all of you. I'm going to start with you, Bob. What did you think of Jim Rogers now wanting to become the full-time permanent chancellor?
Oh, geez, you know what? Frankly, I think that Jim brings a whole lot to the table, and it doesn't bother me that he said didn't want to do it. Now he doesn't want to do it. I just think, you know, he's an astute business person, so I believe that he'll do well.
Howard?
I don't agree. Astute business people are important, and they have their place, and I am very grateful for what the interim chancellor has done to help us through a very difficult situation. But in business, when you have a leader, you have a leader who drives. In education, we need a leader who leads. Otherwise, you've got a real problem on your hands. We've got some very high-powered presidents who have a great deal to contribute. You don't bludgeon them, you don't hit them over the head with a baseball bat, you encourage them. And I don't think that Mr. Rogers is capable of doing that.
Well, but we've tried the encouragement between our two university presidents for a long time, and they still don't talk to each other.
Now, wait a minute. You know, this is a crock that has been permeating everything, and it's not true. They do talk to one another. There is cooperation between the two universities going on constantly and continually. They disagree on certain things.
Well,
and those certain things, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that.
But take a look at the interim study on higher education that took place in this last interim. I mean, that's a fairly serious indictment of things that are going on in our university system across the board. The community college as well as the higher ed system. But when you take a look, we're at some roughly 30 degrees that take place out of UNR and about the same number out of UNLV that have less than 10 graduates a year. The worst part of it is when you take a look at those two different lists, they're fundamentally the same list. We ought to have those programs move to one campus or the other campus and get rid of the other.
Then you go and talk to the students who are place-bound and live here and have families here, and you tell them that they've got to move someplace else. I think you'll have a big difficulty.
The rest of the world does that, and we need to step up.
The rest of the world doesn't do it, Ray. They have cooperative ventures, and we are trying to get a cooperative situation going between the two universities. I live in the system. I know what goes on, and we need the degrees that we have. We've demonstrated that we need them. These kids stay in the state and become part and parcel of what makes this state work.
That's not part of the issue, that the kids stay in the state. The issue is that what you take a look at is, where as much as they can find jobs. The issue is that if you take a look at where the jobs of the future are, they have a tendency to be in the technical areas, the science and the engineering and the math and things like that. We are weak in both of those at both campuses. If we had a really outstanding program at either one, in each degree program, we might keep more of those kids.
We're getting there. Well, it takes time to build them. And again, you encourage and nurture. You don't bludgeon. It doesn't work.
And when you encourage and nurture, I think the encouragement and the nurturing has to start in the K-12. And
I agree.
And you know what? Part of the issue here is a balance between the university system and the K-12 system. But I will tell you, I know that the nation's governors are meeting right now, and one of their issues has been the fact that there's a substantial either dropout or removal of students from the time they were freshmen in high school to the end of high school.
Yep.
And I'll tell you, something that's going on there that we need to get our arms around. It's not counted as dropout rate, but for some reason, Our kids are leaving school, and two, I think we need to re-look at our standards in high school to see to understand or to see that they better match with what's going on in the university system.
The articulation factor is important. Jane Nichols said it, I don't know how many times while she was chancellor. We need to think in terms of P through 16, the entire run, not public education and higher education, and that schism that happens in between.
And I agree with you on that.
Good.
Amen.
Something's wrong with this entire picture.
But now let me
How do you get
No Child Left Behind in higher ed?
Don't get me started on No Child Left Behind,
But
because that all depends upon accountability and assessment. And really, what the government thinks of as accountability is if a kid learns, it's because he's brilliant. If he doesn't learn, it's because you got lousy teachers. It doesn't work like that.
How does No Child Left Behind help our higher ed system? Does it at all?
I don't think it does at this particular point. From what I'm seeing with 4 students out in the public schools doing their student teaching now, I am not at all happy with No Child Left Behind. It isn't working.
Let me jump in here, though. We created this thing a few years ago called the P16 Council, which was supposed to work on that coordination.
Right.
I was on that council. They rotated me off, which is just fine. In the last year that I was on the thing, we scheduled 11 meetings. We actually held 2. The rest of them were canceled. So we don't have our higher education and our K-12 system working together in any kind of cooperative effort whatsoever.
We don't.
And that goes from the leadership from the governor's office all the way down. We do not have a focus on education in this state that, quite frankly, is acceptable. Bill Gates laid it out to the governors this weekend. You got to be embarrassed with what you're doing.
What we've got going is the university system is trying to come into the middle schools to begin that kind of articulation. By the time we get into high school, it's almost too late. You don't have the time. What's happened in high school is what they're trying to do is they're giving them more of what it is that they're not learning in the first place, which gives them 2 chances to flunk rather than just 1.
I think there's something
it's
to be,
the quality of what we're teaching that's desperately important.
There's something to be said for that argument. And going back to Ray's comment on No Child Left Behind, I'm not a particular fan of No Child Left Behind either, but let me tell you, I think that before you can make a judgment call on whether No Child Left Behind has had an effect on higher education, we have to wait because we haven't seen the time of it yet. So.
And that's where we have to leave it. Very interesting discussion, gentlemen. We'll be right back on Nevada Newsmakers after this.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
Here at the Tahoe-Reno Industrial Center, just 10 minutes east of Sparks, we are constructing a 16-mile expressway connecting I-80 to Highway 50. This expressway provides direct access and will make it much easier to get to work. A direct route for employment opportunities. From 100% fiber optics to clean, reliable power, welcome to the Tahoe-Reno Industrial Center, the largest industrial park in the world, building economic prosperity for Nevadans.
Your best value in sight is here for you to see. From frames to lenses to eye exams, you're covered A to Z. Davis Optical, your best value in sight.
Davis Optical Centers, with 2 locations in Reno and Sparks.
Davis Optical, your best value in sight.
And coming up tomorrow, Ray?
Well, Sam, we have Alan Feldman of the MGM Mirage, biggest gaming company in the world. We're going to talk politics.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you.